Hi, and welcome back. My name is Robert. I'm a registered nurse. And next, continuing with your loved one's medications list, is to write if your loved one takes any over-the-counter medications or supplements with the prescribed medications. Leaving the next row blank, but under that, if taken routinely. In the name column, write either over-the-counter medications or supplements, but if both are taken, to save some space, abbreviate over-the-counter medication as OTC. And on the following page, under explanations, write over-the-counter medications equals OTC. By writing these out separately from your loved one's prescribed medications, for these should be separate. This may lead to a better understanding of the differences that exist between the two. Write the time the over-the-counter medication and or supplements are taken. For example, 9 a.m. If your loved one takes a multivitamin, for example, one a day, write the name under the name column. Under strength, if the exact strength is not known, consider to write one pill or one tablet. Under taken, write by mouth or PO. And under reason, a choice to write can be multivitamin. If your loved one takes a baby aspirin, under name, you would write before the word aspirin either enteric-coated or chewable to help distinguish between the two. Please review further with your loved one's primary doctor. Following the last over-the-counter medication or supplements listed, leave that row blank. In the next row, write as needed and place to the right of that in parentheses PRN, which in Latin is pro renata, which means as needed. Under explanations on the following page, write as needed equals PRN. Start by listing any prescribed as needed medications before listing any over-the-counter medications or supplements that may not be taken on a routine basis. Percocet, for this example, is an as-needed medication used for pain management. Under the word name, write Percocet with a B in a circle next to it. Under strength, for this example, write 5 milligrams / 325 milligrams, since Percocet is a combination of oxycodone and acetaminophen. Acetaminophen is the generic name for Tylenol. Under taken, write by mouth or PO, and under reason, which can be written, is every 4 hours as needed for pain, or if chosen to write instead PRN for pain. Under instructions, on the next page, consider to write again, if ordered this way, Percocet every 4 hours if needed, PRN for pain. Consider all additional as needed PRN medications that can be given to be listed in a similar manner. If you can't fit all your loved one's medications on one page, start a second page, but still try to fit all their prescribed medications to be listed on the first page, if so possible. If there are to be 2 medication pages, make the explanation, instruction, and time pages your third page. For this example, there will be 3 pages in total. In the left upper corner of the page, staple the pages together. At the top middle of the second and third page, write out medication list, and below that your loved one's full name. So if the pages get separated, the pages can still indicate that these 2 pages belong to them. In the upper right-hand corner of the first page, write page 1 of 3. On the second page, write page 2 of 3. And on the third page, write page 3 of 3. The next thing to do is to find the longest medication name you placed under the name column, and use a ruler or piece of paper. Draw a line straight down between the name column and the strength column, running vertically through the prescribed over-the-counter medications, supplements, and as needed PRN listings. Next, find the longest strength and draw a line straight down, separating it from the taken column, and do the same between the taken and reason column. If you believe you have it written out correctly, bring it back to the pharmacist you originally saw with your loved one for their review. Write out any questions you might want to ask of them beforehand so you don't forget. After reviewing with the pharmacist, take the medication list to your loved one's primary doctor for their final review, remembering again to write out any questions beforehand. What I would recommend to review with your loved one's primary doctor that can be placed at the top of their explanation, instructions, and times page under their name is what vital sign ranges their heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen saturation, respiration rate, and temperature should be. This information can be extremely useful. An example to write can be heart rate range equals 60 to 100. Blood pressure range equals 110 over 70 to 120 over 80. Oxygen saturation range equals 94% to 100%. Respiration rate ranges equals 12 to 20 breaths per minute, with the oral temp equaling 97.6 to 99.6 Fahrenheit, or if chosen, 36.4 to 37.5 Celsius. Upon reviewing your loved one's ranges with your primary doctor, review what to do if your loved one's vital sign readings, once taken, are found to be either lower or higher than the ranges set. For example, if your loved one's heart rate or blood pressure readings are low and it's time to give a medication or medication that can lower their heart rate and blood pressure even more, ask their primary doctor if that medication or medication should be held off until the heart rate and blood pressure is rechecked in 1 hour, and if still low, what should be done? Is the doctor to be called? Is the loved one to hold off on taking their prescribed medications, or should they continue and go ahead and take them? This may include a low oxygen saturation reading as well. Please clarify further with your loved one's primary doctor. Once your loved one's updated medication list is complete, place this in your loved one's medical history envelope. If the contact person for your loved one, if you are that, consider making a copy for yourself and for any additional person who is a contact care aide or in a position to give their medications. Please encourage all, which is very important, to read the explanation, instruction, and times page first prior to any prescribed medication, over-the-counter medication, supplements, or as needed PRN to be given. If your loved one wants to carry their medication list with them, say in a wallet, go to a place that can print the second page onto the back of the first page. Just be sure to write at the bottom of the first page, continued on back of page with an arrow pointing to the right, so a medical staff member will know to turn it over. If the explanation, instruction, and times page is a third page, make that a separate page. We're going to take another break since there is still much to cover related to proper home medication management, plus a review on how to correctly take a blood pressure reading and all that entails. So please stay tuned. Thank you.